everyone, welcome to my channel. Boys Planet finally came to an end, and the feeling is obviously very bittersweet. Like, I'm happy that it's over and I don't have this obsession anymore, but also it feels like part of me is gone. Like, what am I gonna do Thursdays? Instead of brain rotting all day Boys Planet and thinking who's gonna debut, who is gonna make it past the eliminations, which performance was the best, I'm just gonna have to touch a little bit of grass. But anyways, before that happens, let's talk about the final episode. Let's just get right into it. So to start it off, I must say that between Boys Planet and Girls Planet, Boys Planet as a series was a lot more enjoyable to watch than Girls Planet. I think the content and what they showed from the trainees were a lot less dramatic and a lot less draining than Girls Planet. Even though we had a lot of drama and a lot of evil editing, it still was a lot better than Girls Planet. However, I was expecting to be emotionally involved in the final episode, to cry a whole bunch, because the final episode of Girls Planet broke me. I still think about it to this day, like Winjay talking about her mom, the old trainees making videos to the trainees now, and them showing videos from the first day. It was so sad and so emotional, and I was expecting this kind of vibe, and I didn't really get it here. Like, the finals did not touch me as much as I thought it would. It did not make me extremely interested. I wasn't that engaged with the episode. I think, honestly, out of all episodes, this might have been one of my least favorites. And maybe I was expecting too much from the Girls Planet's comparison. Overall, the series was a lot better than Girls Planet, but the finals, Girls Planet finals, was unrivaled. But let's talk about what happened. They opened up. They performed Here I Am with the 18 trainees left, and it was beautiful. I kind of disliked the Signal song when I first heard it. I was like, this is not as iconic or as nice. But I must say, it grew on me. I am a fan of Here I Am and very curious to see the debut group presenting it. And then we had like this moment for each of the 18 finalists where they had something to say or they showed a little bit of their essence. I like that because everyone got a little bit of screen time. I also felt like that was so fabricated that it was like, that's how you're trying to portray them to me. And I would rather just see them with each other or on the trainee session. But I know, I liked it. We saw a little bit of a different part to them. We saw them in different clothes and whatnot. So that was nice. But I feel like the whole interviewish thing, it felt a little bit too fabricated for me to enjoy it too much. But it was nice. Then we had a little mentor appreciation, which was so cute. They made cakes, and the cakes were really well done. Let me say, like, the decoration of some of them were a little bit, like, wacky, but some of them were perfection. And they gave it to their mentors or the mentors that spoke more to them. So rappers gave to PH1 and so forth and so on. And it was super nice how they changed the lyrics of the Signal song into something like, please stop scolding us. And I thought it was a really sweet moment. I really enjoyed the relationship trainees had with the mentors this season. It felt a lot more helpful, and they did have a lot of fights or mentors screaming at trainees like, you're not doing this right. But they also had a lot of scenes shown where mentors were helping trainees out with dance, were giving them constructive criticism, giving them advices, the best way to show off their skills. And I really appreciate that. Then we got a little prize to Park Bin as the one who improved the most. As in, all mentors got together and they decided on one trainee who had the greatest improvement. And I thought the title, Greatest Improvement, did not really fit what they were giving, because Park Bin was great from the very beginning, okay? He was great. All of his fan cams were amazing. All of his dances were amazing. All of his leaderships throughout the show were amazing. From the demo stage to the last stage, he gave his all. So I thought the title Greatest Improvement wasn't fit of him. I think Greatest Improvement, honestly, out of all of the trainees, maybe Yujin. I don't see anyone having this like giant improvement. Maybe Gyubin showed more of himself in On Guard. But Greatest Improvement is a bit hard. If we had other trainees like Doha or Mingyu here, I would definitely say they had the biggest improvement. But everyone here was very consistent with their performances. I think Matthew is the one that in the artist battle, I thought he had his best fan cam and it was his best performance. But it's not like he was bad before. I would say probably Matthew had the greatest improvement. Ricky also improved a lot from the beginning until like Over Me. It's not a drastic change, but I do see him improving more. Park Min though, he was so amazing in Hot Sauce and his demo stage, so it feels a little bit unfitting of him, greatest improvement. But I get it, he deserves all the praise he can get. He is an amazing performer, and I really wanted to do a superlatives where I tell my opinions, like who's the best vocalist of the show, who is the best performer, Park Min would definitely be winning in a lot of categories, let me tell you that. So obviously not against that, and I think the mentors seeing him and affirming that he is great and he's such idol material is very, very fitting of him. I just think the title left me a bit confused. But then mentors wrote letters to all of the contestants, such a cute thing to do. But it didn't touch me so much. I appreciate it. And it's like, oh, this is finally a goodbye. But no one's letter felt very touching to me. Even though the whole situation and the whole thing was very nice, there wasn't a letter that felt too memorable to me. So yeah. Then we got to my absolute favorite part of the finale, where they did those concept teasers of their songs, and it was hilarious, okay? For Jelly Pop, we had this concept teaser where Candom was Princess Jelly, and I didn't really understand if they got a little bit of a taste of the jelly, they became infatuated by him or by her, or if she was just so pretty that they all became infatuated. But it was hilarious, absolutely hilarious. Seeing people fall heads over heels to Candom, and Candom getting a little bit of screen time that isn't him tilting his head to the side is chef's kiss. They showed who got the killing part, so Jung Hao in the end got the killing part for Jelly Pop and Sung Min got for Hot Summer. Then we had the Jelly Pop performance. Honestly, I love the stage. I loved how they interacted with each other. It felt more like they were having fun on stage than a performance, and I absolutely love that feeling. Hated that they weren't singing live, but also understandable. It's live on TV, on a stadium. Many things could go wrong, but I would appreciate live vocals. But it's okay. Jung Hao killed it as the center. Ganuk and Park Min also had a really fun part. And overall, I think it was very, very fun. Then we have the same concept teaser for Hot Summer. And in this case, Lee Jung-hyun was our protagonist, our girl, snatching everyone's hearts and tearing them apart. And honestly, it was so funny. And in the beginning, there's this scene where he looks like a ghost or something. So freaking funny. I loved it. I also love how they had a little budget. I think it was $100 or something of sorts, where they had to buy all the props. And this team just spent it all eating. That's a mood. Like, please eat well. I hope they're very well fed, because they are growing voice. I mean, they dance all day, so they deserve to eat a little bit. And Hot Summer performance was hot indeed. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. But honestly, I can only remember Jiyoung and Sung Hanbin and Tae-rae. Everyone else, I can't remember because my eyes were glued into Jiyoung. Oh my gosh, Jiyoung killed the stage so much. And I thought Sung Hanbin getting main vocal and killing part would be a little bit too much of him. But Jiyoung having a lot of screen time as well and fitting the concept so well gave a little balance to how much Sung Hanbin was shining. So I think it was good overall. He did get a lot of lines, but it didn't feel overwhelming to me, which I really appreciate, because I was really thinking this dude is gonna get like 1.5 minutes of a 3-minute song and I'm gonna be tired of his face. But fortunately, that was not the case, so I didn't have to worry about that. I really, really liked this performance. But again, only a few people shined from both performances. And the songs were a lot better than what I was expecting, because usually those last finale songs, they're kind of mid. Shine was really good though. But overall, like, they're not really memorable, but I love the performances. I love the songs. Love everything that they put out here. Love the centers, love the vocals that are not live, but I love it. Jiyoung killed it. I think Jiyoung was the one that shined the most between both of the performances. I wasn't expecting him to grab us all and leave us on a chokehold. Oh my gosh, and he sang. Then they showed a little bit of their live, which they did like this pajama party live, so they got some clips from that and put it on the main episode, which was nice. but also we already saw the content. It's, a bit of a recycling there. So it wasn't my favorite part. And also the live from the clips I saw, it wasn't super interesting. So I was hoping something new. But then they showed us the fans, each trainee reacting to their fans and the videos their fans sent. And they were all really touched, and it was so heartwarming but also heartbreaking to see them crying. I think the one that spoke to me the most was this one girl who was a Hui fan, and she was like, "We're supporting you, and I just wanted to tell you that there is no age to follow your dreams, and we'll always be here." And I thought that was just so nice, and it was super sweet seeing all the guys crying and touched by that. But I really wish we had a video of the other trainees talking to them, or the other trainees, their parents, because that's very gut-wrenching, that is where I cry. Because fans, they're always gonna have fans, and they always can get this type of vibe. But I like a little bit more personal moments, so with parents, with friends, and I don't know, I wanted to cry. And although this moment was really sweet, and it's better to have this moment than no moment, I kind of miss seeing a bit more of the trainees themselves supporting each other. I don't know, I wanted to see something like that, because we saw it in Girls Planet 999. Then they had a ballad, which they had hand-in mics, but they also were not singing live, so I didn't really remember it that much. It was a ballad, it was nice, soft, but not really memorable. And at this point, everyone is crazy. Oh, also, I must say that I was expecting them to show the entering ranks. So for the whole episode, I was just like, are they not going to show the entering ranks? Are they not going to show who was in 9th place? Like, I need to know who to vote for here. And they ended up not showing that. And I was like, what the heck? I think they were very happy with the lineup they got, or the lineup they had before the show, the double voting started. But still, I felt like that was very, very, very unfair to all the trainees that were not shown the ranks. I needed a little bit more of information. My vote wouldn't change probably. I voted for Keita in the live voting, and probably wouldn't change. But maybe I felt like the whole shenanigans of the ranks and seeing the ranks and not seeing the ranks, that was so unfair, so manipulative, very mad at it. I don't know, I hated it. And then this was kind of the part where they closed the votings, I think. And then I was like, wow, you closed the votings and you didn't even show us the entering ranks? I kind of hate you a minute. We saw then the guys having a little sleepover. They talked about first impressions about people. And we had a very big surprise that Jung Hao hadn't talked to almost half of the contestants, I want to say. Like, he seemed to not have had a conversation with a lot of those 18 trainees that were left. So that was pretty funny to see. And I really like those first impressions of each other, who caught their attention the most. It was super fun. And I think it's funny how they put Jung Hao and Junhyun, who are complete opposites of each other, having like this awkward moment. That was everything to me. So freaking funny and very, very nice. And very happy at people remembering the first stage, Eugene doing something with his hand, or Jung Hao playing the violin, or Ricky saying young and rich, tall and handsome, and people remembering Sungmin when he first came, Yoon without a shirt underneath. All of these first impressions that we all had, but I wanted to listen from the trainees themselves, so that was really nice. And to see who are our friends, what are the cliques that were going on, because as much as we know, we do not see everything. So these moments where we can see a little bit more of who's close to who is very, very nice. Then we got to the live where they announced, first of all, the name of the group, which is Zero Base One. And I absolutely hate the way it sounds. Zero Base One. What? Like, Zero Base One. I don't know. It feels like something that I would say, or someone would say while they playing baseball. Like, oh, zero base one, zero, go to base one or something. I don't know. It felt like a mouthful. Zero base one. I don't like saying it. Very uncomfortable. I thought we wouldn't get a name worse than Kepler. But Kepler, I kind of got used to it. It still sucks as a name, not gonna lie. But we got used to it, and it's at least short, not a mouthful. But zero base one is a bit too much. And I don't like how you call it zero base one. But I must say ZB1 is kind of cute. I like it. I like the way you write ZB1. It's a bit alienish, yes, but it's nice. And I wish we would just call them ZB1. It also kind of brings me back to TXT, which is Tomorrow by Together, BTS, Bangtanso년dan, those acronym names that were really popular a while back. So I think ZB1 is cute, but zero base one is horrible. I wish they had gone with like a Korean name so that we wouldn't need to call them zero base one and we would just call them ZB1. And also I saw like 0 and 1 mean a bunch of stuff in different languages, so that is not nice. I guess they didn't do their research well enough, I guess, into certain markets. And Jung, oh my gosh, Jung asking what is the name of our group and then laughing when he heard it. No, the mentors, Lip J's reaction to the name was like, what the heck? It was me. Literally, Lip J was me. Like, zero base one. Anyways, everyone's reactions was very truthful to what the name was. Everyone in the stadium laughing. And then I hope the fandom name will be cute at least, because I absolutely hate Kepler's Keplians. Who invented that? And also, who of you guys who put zero base one in the little forms? Like, we were thinking cosmics, we were thinking serious, which is also kind of funny when you say it's serious, or like Onicrom or something, universe kind of names, and then they got zero base one. And where does the concept of universe get there? Like, I'm confused, because now with their name and their Instagram handle, where did the magical galaxy concept go to? But okay. And we'll see the fandom name and all that. I just really hope it isn't worse than Keplians. I don't think there is a word that it could be worse than Keplians. Maybe AIDS, which is Dia's fandom name. But yeah, so everyone was shook at the name. But ZB1, I like ZB1 itself. So I'll be calling them ZB1 because zero base one, absolutely horrendous. Will we probably grow into it? Yes, but it is still horrendous. And then Minhyun called the final trainees, the ones who are debuting. And in 8th place, we had Kim Ji-young. In 7th place, we had Gyubin. 6th place, Tere. 5th place, Ganuk. 4th place, Ricky, which was, I think, our biggest surprise. I was so shook when he was called. 4th place, Ricky. 3rd place, Matthew. 2nd place, Seungmin. And 1st place, Junghao. And 9th place, Yoojin. And Jung, as I said, he was super funny in his little speech. Like, what is the name of the group again? But I really expected him to be like top 3. So him being 8th was like, wow. I thought no globals were debuting at a certain point when he was called, because I was like, whoa, what the heck? If he's here, where are the G members? But fortunately, we didn't have one global member, 7 Koreans. I was really scared for that. Given was called up in 7th place, and I was pretty much expecting that he would debut at this point. But it was also a little bit surprising. Like, wow, you actually made it. But very expected as well. It would be unexpected that he didn't debut, but it also was like unexpected that he debuted. No, both could be surprises, but he debuted, and his speech was also pretty funny. He was like, I had my speech prepared, but I forgot all the sentences. And that was so funny. And also he mentioning everyone but not everyone, and then Ganuk being called up and being like, well, I was sad Gyubin did not mention me in his speech, but yeah, now I'm calling him out. So that was funny. Ganuk mentioned a lot of people. He mentioned Daeun from Kepler. He mentioned all of the Jellyfish Boys. And when the camera panned into the Jellyfish Boys and Hyunbin, I was like, oh my gosh, I was so emotional. And then Seungmin and Junghao, they took a long time with their speeches. And I think they were trying to hurry everything up because Yoojin is still minor, so he couldn't be on TV after a certain time. But they were just talking it out. And Junghao being like, me? I got first? That was like the best of the best. And I think all of the globals reactions were pretty surprising. And I loved Kepler's reactions. Mashiro being super surprised. Xiaoting being super surprised, but also like congratulating the Chinese trainees. Like, she was so happy for them. And someone got the picture of her in her own debut. And her, while like Junghao was called as first place and Ricky, and she was so much happier for them. than what she was in her own debut, because oh my gosh, the erasure and the whole evil editing and everything that happened in Girls Planet with the Chinese trainees, this was literally the cleansing of it. So I was very happy for them as well, and very happy seeing Xiaoting happy. Such a closing circle moment. But talking about the ranks themselves, I think Jiyoung placing so low was very surprising, but Yoojin placing 9th, I would have never expected that. What the heck? Like, never. Junghao being first place came as a surprise to everyone. I think no one was expecting him to be first. I think some people actually were in the interim ranks, but I don't think anyone thought he would still maintain that in the interim ranks. I had no faith on the global trainees. I really thought the global trainees were all ranking like 5th under. So when no one was being called, I was a little bit anxious. Very, very anxious, not gonna lie. I think the biggest surprise out of the debut line is Ricky, because people were expecting him to debut. It wasn't unsure that he would debut, but so many people were to make the top 9 that I think Ricky was our biggest surprise in the lineup. Everyone else was a bit expected. Like, if one of them did not debut, it would be shocking. But I think Ricky debuting was my biggest surprise, and I think a lot of people's biggest surprises. Tae rose a lot after the entering ranks, but it was expected. He rose to 6th place. I didn't think Park Hamin would not rise. Park Hamin lowered in ranks after the interim was shown, which, well, I think Tae surpassed him, so that was that. But I thought he would be a candidate for top 9. Also, they didn't even show the candidates. This live thing was all over the place, not gonna lie. Gunna got it away in the middle of the speech. These boys are so chaotic. And my biggest regret, I guess, is Keita not making it. Like, if Keita was in the 9th place, sorry, Yoojin, but you're too young for me to stand you and to like you too much. But if Keita was like P9, it would be a perfect group for me. But him not being in the group, I'm not gonna lie, is a bit of a deal breaker for me. Yes, I'm gonna listen to their songs. Yes, I'm probably gonna follow them. But I don't know, not seeing Keita there is a bit weird to me. And I waited a few days to make this video so I would get my thoughts in order of like the debut line and everything. But still, I cannot get over the fact that Keita did not make it. And I do think a lot of people probably feel the same way about Park Hamin, about Jay. But overall, I like the group. There is no way the group would fail talent-wise, because everyone in the top 18 are extremely talented, and none of them can be called a dozen. So don't come at me saying, oh, we have a few dozens in the lineup. No, we don't. Everyone there either knows how to dance, either knows how to sing, either knows how to rap, either knows how to do all of the above and be pretty and have stage presence. So none of them are dozens. Dozens cannot do anything. I'm not mad about the vocal line. I think we have a pretty solid vocalist. We have Tae, who is probably going to be main vocalist alongside Junghao, Sunghamin, Ricky. Also, he's not the strongest vocalist in the series, but he has pretty good vocals as well. And then the rappers. I'm so mad about Keita. Like, Keita was made to debut, and then I'm very mad that he has to go back to his very, very bad company that doesn't give him anything. And Rain will not promote the group. So I hope he has success and is able to do some projects by himself with PH1 that he was called. But in the group, we have Ganuk as a rapper. I'm gonna say I don't like Ganuk as a rapper as much from what he has shown on the show. I wasn't a big fan of his tomboy rap, and I think he sings pretty well, so I wouldn't be mad with him being a singer instead of a rapper. But if that was the case, that means that they will push Jiyoung, Yoojin, and Gyubin to be rappers, which I also do not like a lot. Like, I don't have a problem with Jiyoung being a rapper, but he sings. And after seeing him sing in Hot Summer, I want him singing. And Gyubin's rap was a no-no for me. Like, it wasn't super bad, but it wasn't good either. So Gyubin is the one who should be responsible for like those hard-hitting parts. I think like those one-liners that are like a killing part. I think he would get them. Okay, predictions here for the line distribution. We're gonna see on the top Junghao, Sunghamin, Tae. Okay, those three on the top. Every song, okay? Those three always on the top. Then Ganuk will also be on the top of the songs. Ricky, I think Ricky's gonna be like in the middle, but he won't be mistreated. Yujin will also probably be in the middle, but not always there. Gyubin and Jiwoong, I am expecting them to be always in the bottom. Always the 3 lines. Oh, Matthew will also be on the top. Okay, so Matthew, Junghao, Taeray, Sungmin, they'll all be always in the top 5. And then Gunwook, I expect him to have a little bit of lines as well. Yujin, Jiwoong, Gyubin in the bottom. That is my expectation. For the group itself, the concept, no idea. I hope they have a good song. They have some rumors on who the producer is, and if they're true, I think we're gonna have a banger. But I hope they do not follow the same steps as Kepler, because to be honest, Kepler's discography is all over the place. They do not have a solid concept, and out of all of their title tracks, I think I like 2 of them, maybe 1. So yeah, I hope they have good songs. And if they have good songs, I'll be tuning in and listening to them. But I'm still a bit sad about Keita. Overall, this whole episode and the results were very insane. Like, thinking that we got Junghao being our first global center is incredible. I'm so freaking hyped for his solo song. I wish it's not like a very basic song, because I do think they probably had the song picked out already and be like, okay, whoever gets first will get the song. But I really hope it's something that speaks to him and resonates with him, because his voice is lovely and I'm very, very happy that he'll be getting a solo song. I do think that although he is center for now, since they emphasized throughout the show that first place would be the center for the debut, so they would get the killing part during the debut, and the solo song, I do think they will be switching centers. We'll see more of Sungmin being center, and also Junghao. I think depending on the concept, probably if they do something a little more sexy, Junghao would be center, and if they do something refreshing, it will be Hanbin. I really think they will be doing those switching arounds, because they really emphasize throughout the show, and I also don't think they will waste Hanbin's potential as center. So I do see them switching around, maybe kind of like Sakura and Wonyoung did throughout IZ*ONE. They were both kind of in the center-ish. I do see that happening. And for the eliminated trainees, I really hope to see a lot from Park Min. Like, I really want to see him debuting as an idol. I need to see him as an idol, kind of. Him and Sungwon are the 2 guys that I feel like I need in a boy group or something like that. I feel this need to see them because they're just born to be idols and they have this very idol-like persona. Whereas Jay, for example, I don't have this feeling where, oh, I need you to debut in a boy group. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion or not, but I do think the K-pop sound, or the generic K-pop sound that most boy groups do, like this noisy music, or even just generic pop, K-pop, would hinder and like not use Jay's full capacity. Because instead of him bringing something for the table, I feel like him being in a boy group would probably just make him sing songs that are not matching of his voice. So I do want to see him doing R&B, slow, mellow songs, because his voice is just made for it. Like Over Me, or I don't know, just very R&B-ish sounds. I think it fits his voice perfectly. So I hope I see him doing those kind of songs, be it in K-pop or outside. I do think it would be better for him to just go like global, not be restricted with the K-pop label. And Kate, I talked about a lot. I want projects, I want features. Hui is someone I also want to see more of, like Pentagon. What can we expect from them? I want Hui singing Do or Do Not, please. Pentagon comeback, maybe. I don't know. Like, it feels uncertain, their future, but also they are so booked and busy. So let's see if they're gonna stay in the blue box or all leave and do something together. That is pretty much a very plausible possibility. And out of all the other trainees, Junghyun also is someone who I want to see more of, but he's not someone I immediately want to debut, but he's someone I see a lot of, and he made his little way to my heart, so I do want to see him debuting or doing something in the idol world or acting. Kandam, Jungwoo, all I need some kind of cipher, you know, like, oh my gosh, they could put Keita, Jungwoo, Kandam, and Junghyun. They could all write a diss track for Mnet or on Boys Planet, a Boys Planet diss track. That would be legendary. And I think those are all the eliminator trainees. If I'm forgetting someone, I'm so sorry. And that's it for my video. Those are my thoughts on the final episode, the final scores, the final ranks. I don't have many predictions for the group itself because honestly, Wake One sucks a lot. Like, they have F4, they have all the pretty boys, they have the most populars, and I'm sure they're able to like give them nothing and just fumble the bag. So I'm not gonna say anything about like their future because although they're set to be like the biggest fifth generation boy group, I can see how Wake One will fumble the bag. So yeah, but honestly, I'm okay with the lineup. I think the lineup is pretty solid. Not all of them speak to me as much, especially Hyujin, I'm gonna say, is the one that speaks to me the least because he's way too young. During the live itself, you could hear people screaming his name. At every single spot, it was like 7th place and then 6th place, 5th place, and everyone was screaming his name. So I think him not debuting was not an option. But yeah, I want to know like the chemistry of them all, and I feel very sad for Junghao because I think he's the only introvert in the group. So that is gonna be fun for the others and very tiring for him. As a last thing, I wanted to ask you guys what type of content you guys want to see here next. Like, now that Boys Planet is finished, do you guys have another series that you want me to talk about, albums that you want me to review, specific topics you want me to cover? I have many ideas and many videos that I want to do, but it's still very good to hear from you guys and what you guys want to see from myself, from this channel, anything you guys are interested in. Just comment down below. And yeah, this was the final episode of Boys Planet. This is not my last video on it, but the final episode. Anyways, goodbye.